We will follow our fictional character Marcus, navigating the complex financial realities of living in America at various different income levels. Money often dictates our daily choices, shaping our stress levels, our living conditions, and ultimately our entire perspective on the future. Let us begin with the survival stage, where Marcus earns exactly $38,000 a year, facing brutal daily mathematics. At this income level, basic survival becomes a ruthless equation where fixed costs completely consume almost every single dollar he earns. After paying for rent, transportation, basic insurance, and essential groceries, Marcus is constantly staring at a terrifying monthly budget deficit today. Every tiny expense requires intense calculation, making something as simple as adding avocado to a meal feel like an impossible luxury. He lives in a constant state of anxiety, knowing that even a minor unexpected bill could completely derail his entire life. The mental toll of poverty is incredibly heavy, forcing Marcus to sacrifice his long-term goals just to survive the present. He works extremely hard, yet the financial math simply does not work out, leaving him exhausted and trapped in endless debt. This level represents the harsh reality for millions of hard-working individuals who are simply trying to keep their heads above water. Credit cards become a dangerous necessity rather than a convenience, slowly building a mountain of debt that feels impossible to escape. Marcus dreams of a better life, but the systemic barriers and soaring inflation make upward mobility feel like an unreachable fantasy. Let us move forward to the next stage, where Marcus finally secures a promotion and earns $65,000 annually. This is the precarious stage, where his monthly budget finally begins to balance, offering a brief illusion of true financial stability. He can afford slightly better groceries and perhaps a modest apartment, but he still lacks a meaningful financial safety net entirely. The author describes this specific financial state as swimming vigorously, but still fighting against a very strong and relentless downward current. Marcus manages to save a tiny fraction of his income, feeling a slight sense of accomplishment after years of severe struggle. However, this fragile peace is easily shattered by a single unexpected emergency, like a sudden check engine light on his dashboard. That one mechanic bill is more than enough to completely wipe out his meager savings, sending him right back to zero. He realizes that earning a median income does not guarantee security. It merely changes the flavor of his ongoing financial anxiety. The stress shifts from daily survival to the terrifying fear of losing the small amount of progress he has recently made. Marcus must still adhere to a strict budget, carefully monitoring his spending to ensure he does not slip back into debt. Vacations remain a rare luxury, usually involving cheap road trips rather than the relaxing tropical getaways he sees on social media. Retirement planning is something he knows he should do, but finding the extra money to invest feels like an impossible puzzle. This middle ground is incredibly frustrating because you're doing everything right, but still feel like you're barely getting by. Now Marcus reaches a major milestone, finally breaking the six-figure mark to earn $100,000 a year today. This is the psychological threshold, a magical number that many people consider the ultimate destination for achieving true financial peace forever. At this level, Marcus finally experiences genuine peace of mind, no longer worrying about the cost of groceries or basic utilities. He can comfortably pay his bills on time, enjoy occasional dinners out, and actually start building a solid emergency savings fund. However, he quickly discovers a surprising truth. Earning $100,000 does not automatically make you a wealthy person today. If Marcus lives in a major metropolitan city, the exorbitant costs of housing and taxes consume a massive portion of income. He might drive a nicer car and live in a better neighborhood, but he is still trading his time for money. The illusion of wealth at this stage often leads to increased spending as societal expectations push him to upgrade his lifestyle. He buys nicer clothes and takes better vacations, subtly increasing his monthly overhead without even realizing the long-term financial impact. Despite the comfortable salary, true financial independence remains distant because his investments are not yet generating enough passive income to survive. Marcus learns that a high income is merely a powerful tool. It only creates wealth if managed with extreme discipline always. He must consciously resist the urge to inflate his lifestyle, choosing instead to aggressively funnel his surplus cash into appreciating assets. This stage requires a fundamental mindset shift, transitioning from a consumer mentality to the strategic mindset of a long-term investor. Next, Marcus enters the tipping point, earning between $150,000 and $250,000 a year now. This is the exciting phase where the financial momentum shifts drastically and his money finally begins to work hard for him. With a substantial surplus of income, he can easily maximize his retirement accounts and heavily invest in the global stock market. The power of compound interest becomes incredibly evident as his investment portfolio grows exponentially, generating wealth while he is sleeping. He can afford premium healthcare, high-quality food, and enriching experiences without ever compromising his aggressive long-term wealth-building strategy. Financial stress is virtually eliminated, replaced by a profound sense of security and the exciting possibility of retiring early if desired. Now Marcus has the incredible luxury of choice, able to pivot careers or start a business without fearing total financial ruin. He begins to explore real estate investing, purchasing rental properties that provide steady cash flow and excellent long-term tax advantages. However, the danger of lifestyle creep is stronger than ever, tempting him with luxury cars, massive houses, and exclusive country clubs. He must remain vigilant, remembering that true wealth is the money you don't spend, rather than the flashy items purchased. The gap between his high income and his reasonable expenses is the true engine driving his unstoppable journey towards financial freedom. At this level, financial advisors and tax professionals become essential partners, helping him optimize his wealth and minimize his tax liabilities. Marcus realizes that building wealth is no longer about working harder, but about deploying his capital with maximum efficiency and intelligence. Now we examine the highest tier, where individuals earn an astonishing $500,000 or more every single year today. You might assume that anyone earning $500,000 is incredibly wealthy and completely immune to any daily financial stress. Yet, a shocking statistical paradox exists. 40% of people earning this much still live paycheck to paycheck in modern America. This mind-boggling reality is the ultimate manifestation of lifestyle inflation, where expenses rise perfectly in tandem with massive income increases. These high earners often purchase multi-million-dollar mansions, finance exotic sports cars, and enroll their children in elite private schools. They trap themselves in a golden cage, requiring a massive monthly cash flow just to maintain their incredibly lavish outward appearance. Despite their enormous salaries, their net worth remains surprisingly low because they consume their wealth rather than investing it for tomorrow. A sudden job loss or economic downturn can instantly devastate these high earners, proving that income alone does not equal security. The stress they experience is different from poverty, but it is still profoundly suffocating, driven by the fear of losing status. This phenomenon clearly proves the video's core message. True financial freedom is never defined by the absolute size of your paycheck. Instead, freedom is found entirely in the mathematical gap between what you earn and what you choose to spend every month. A person earning $80,000 who saves 30% is mathematically wealthier than a millionaire who spends absolutely everything earned. Marcus learns that mastering personal finance requires deep emotional intelligence, discipline, and the courage to ignore relentless societal pressures to consume. We must define our own version of a rich life, focusing on meaning and security rather than keeping up with neighbors.
Whether you earn $30,000 or $300,000, the fundamental principles of wealth creation remain exactly the same for everyone. You must track your spending meticulously, eliminate toxic high-interest debt, and automatically invest a portion of your income every month. Building an emergency fund is your first line of defense, protecting you from the inevitable financial storms that life will bring. Once protected, you can focus on expanding your skills, increasing your earning potential, and slowly climbing the income ladder with confidence. But as your income grows, you must deliberately maintain your previous standard of living, capturing the surplus to buy your freedom. Financial independence buys you the most valuable asset in the universe, complete control over your own time and your daily choices. It allows you to wake up every morning and decide exactly how you want to